Hello humans, Retro Rocket Man back again with another custom makeover. This time round it's a Zyclops from the new Lightyear movie from Disney and Pixar, and I think it's about a 7 to 8 inch figure made by Mattel. It's a bit toy-like, as you'd expect, being marketed for kids, but it's got all the potential to be turned into something a little bit more special. And on the back there's product photos and information, the usual garb, and you can see it sits comfortably in a blister, but still accessible from the outside. It's not completely sealed, and the usual stuff on the bottom, barcodes and manufacturer's notes and that sort of stuff. Comes with a couple of play features, some sort of a button that pops off and a firing missile. It just ports in like so. Just point and fire. And also the button on the chest there that makes this thing pop off, whatever it's supposed to be. Some sort of teleportation disc. I don't know what context it means, but it obviously will be apparent in the film. All over though, it's a pretty decent sculpt and it's got a lot of potential. Has all its usual articulation, but I'm not interested in that. I just want to paint it up and dirty it down to make it look 100% better. So I'm going to start by painting these grey areas. Some of them is moulded plastic and others is actually paint over yellow plastic. But they're going to get the good old chrome silver treatment. So it's a good place to start. Trying to take away from that plastic feel. Make it look more like a metal robot. So simply just going to be painting these grey areas in a chrome silver. I'm pretty sure most of you know the drill by now. Usually takes 1 to 2 coats depending on the coverage, what it looks like. In this case I only do the 1 coat because I'm going to be giving it the shoe polish treatment after that to grunge it up and dirty it down. So just carefully staying within the lines, trying to keep the silver just to the grey areas, because it doesn't look too good when you get it on the yellow. It looks sloppy. And this disc, the teleportation disc, as they like to call it, I'm pretty sure that was the description on the back. Yep, and I'm going to give that the metal look as well, of course, and also on his torso and around the back. Anything that's grey, I'm going to turn to silver. It's always good to have a decent brush when you do this sort of work. Just the right shape, and it makes a great deal of difference. There are certain areas on the mould that are just plain yellow, which I feel should have some sort of a silver treatment as well, so I'm just making this up, doing it to what suits me, and just to make it look more interesting and visually pleasing. So all these curious discs, and also naturally the feet as well are getting the silver treatment. Once the silver's dry, I'm just going to give it a tarnish down with some black shoe polish. So I brush it on and I dab it off with a rag. the dabbing motion gives it a certain texture, gives it a much more tarnished look to it. I had tried to use a different product on the yellow. You probably see that there on his shoulders and head area, and it was far too weak, so I'm going to have to go back in again with the proper Kiwi shoe polish. It's a much stronger product and gives me a much more dramatic effect. But at the moment, I'm just doing the silver portions at the moment, just to give it that world-used, battle-scarred and grimy feel. You know what I mean. Funnily enough, I'll be doing this to the entire figure, but I just want to do one portion at a time, just to get a feel for the look that I want. Again, just applying it with a brush and then taking off the excess. And I've done this to wherever the silver parts are. And it just makes a world of difference in the look and the aesthetics of it all. Don't like anything too clean. I've got a problem with that, I know, but that's just the way I am. Just letting the shoe polish get into all those creases and crevices, and it also tarnishes down the silver, as you can see there. It's a much better look in my opinion. Now I've been applying the shoe polish in the same fashion to the legs and taking the excess off as I go. It's way too dirty for me, even for me, so I'm going to have to clean that up, and you've got plenty of options. So while it's still fresh, I'm going to go in with a damp sponge scourer and just lightly take off more of the shoe polish. You can see it already has an effect, but I want to leave some behind, so I don't want to go too hard, because again, I don't want it to look too clean. It's all just a matter of taste and how you feel about the look. Some people might like the really dirty look, but I think I like the yellow to pop a bit more and create those lovely contrasts. And I've given it an all-over treatment, so it's looking pretty good. Nice and grungy, less like a toy, or like something that might come out of the movie, although I haven't seen it yet, so I'm just making this up. It's my own interpretation of what they might look like, but it's a good place to start. So everything's been dirtied down with the shoe polish and then wiped back. Just leaving enough behind to give me the intensity that I want. It also dulls down that bright yellow plastic. It just makes it more pleasing to the eye. Now I'm using brown shoe polish just to accent certain areas. The brown on the black gives it a deeper intensity to the colour and more depth to the sculpt as well. Just makes things even more interesting to look at. So I'm just dirtying it down a little bit more. This is primarily on the yellow areas, just to give it some environmental weathering and staining. So I'm just concentrating on the lines and creases in the sculpt, and then taking off the excess to my desired taste. And it just gives it just that little bit more weathering. And you just keep doing this until you get the desired result. So here it is before, nice and clean, and here it is after. And in my opinion, It's a much better look. It just looks more like something out of the movie. And the articulation's not bad on this figure. You can get some reasonable dynamic poses, and he stands up, so he doesn't fall over quite so easily, so that's good. It's always a positive. So there you have it, humans. This is my latest project, and I think it's turned out pretty good. I quite like it. So this is Retro Rocket Man. See you in the next one. Over and out.